So who am I speaking with?
Hi, it's Rachel Happe. I'm the principal and co-founder of the Community Roundtable.
You just gave a rockstar presentation at Enterprise 2.0 conference, and one of the things you were talking about is that the desire of companies to do collaboration, social media within the organization. There's a desire to first, though, see some results immediately, like, well, let's put this in, and if we don't see results right away, then we'll dump it. Why is this wrong-headed, and if you do get fast results, that could also be a failure?
Well, ultimately it's about building relationships, and the relationships are what help you ultimately scale in geometric ways. But relationships take time to develop, and that behavior change that you're looking for within communities takes time to develop. So what you're really looking to prove early on in a community is that you can affect a behavior change and you can get people to form relationships with each other. Those are the two things you're really trying to prove early on. And as you grow, growing organically is really the way to keep that power and behavior change going. But early on, geometric growth is slow. When you when you double one, you get two. When you double two, you get four. But then all of a sudden you reach a point and you get the hockey stick growth if you've set the groundwork really well. And so that's what I encourage people to shoot for versus the quick win of pumping a lot of even valuable content into a system, getting people to look at it and comment on it. That's great, but it's not building relationships.
Skip to the point where you were talking about how these soft skills, which is relationships, really can help the bottom line in terms of cost reduction and enhancing revenue. Go through some of those points. I thought they were really, really valuable.
Yeah, so one example that I have up there is forgiveness, which is a very relationship-centric notion. We forgive each other. We don't kind of organizationally forgive each other. But what happens is if you've created a friendship between a business and a customer, a business and an employee, when you mess up as an organization, and most organizations will inevitably do that because humans inevitably mess up at some point, if you have a strong relationship, the other party will forgive that. And move on and not create a crisis out of it. If you have set up a transactional relationship with a customer and you have messed up in a way that is very hurtful to their business, and they don't feel any loyalty or trust with you, they're likely to make that a big deal on the social web, or at least they have that option to. And that is a PR crisis. And as many companies have found out, that's a multi-million-dollar thing to clean up. So relationships steel us against that risk, if you will. It's a risk mitigation strategy to have good relationships.
And one of the other things you said about the fact relationships is that you get insight from relationships, and you do not get insight from transactions, although people will say, oh, if I look at the analytics, I can get insight. But what are the insights I'm getting through relationships over analytics?
Well, it's interesting because I used to be a product manager, and one of the tenets of product management is that if you ask somebody directly what they want, but it doesn't exist today, it's very hard for somebody to articulate that. But if you take a more anthropological approach or a conversational approach and talk to them about their day and their needs and what they're really struggling with, that will give you insight into what doesn't exist but could solve their problem. But you're not going to have that conversation if you don't have the relationship that supports it.
What about revenues enhancements? I mean, you did talk about, hey, if you have these relationships, you're going to be able to actually make a lot more money. It's going to take a while to build them. So how could I make more money if I got great relationships?
Well, I'll use our own company as an example here. We take a friendship approach to everyone, and we value people that aren't a customer of ours per se, but out in the market, and they care about community management in the same way we do. Many of those people are our advocates, and what that does for us is it increases revenue. Because they recommend us when they see a need on somebody else's behalf, they send them to us. And that is huge value on the revenue building side. We've paid nothing for marketing. So, That's a small business example, but it works the same way in large businesses.
Excellent. Rachel, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.